with you. Well, trying to dual carve again. Completed the rough carve using a 1/8 inch bit. Now about 68% done with the detail carve using a, let me rephrase, did I say a 1/8 inch bit? I'm sorry. Rough carve with a 1/4 inch bit. I'm now almost 70% done with the detail carve using a 1/8 inch bit. Quite frankly, it's not looking too good. As a matter of fact, it's not looking any better than any of the other ones I've tried. So, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to pause this for a little bit, and when it's done, I'm going to point out a few things that I've observed. And see if any of you folks out there trying this dual carve are having the same problems that I am, or if I'm just a unique individual. So we will be back with you shortly. Okay guys, I've finished this carving according to the computer, and a couple of things I've noticed. Same problem I've had since day one. I've got this thing is carving down 0.25 inches, so all the way around inside here I've got a 0.25 inch depth of cut. Same here around all the letters. I've got a 0.25 inch depth of cut, and that's 0.16 inch here on the rough cut. Now, I told that rough cut to go, let me pull this up, 1/8 inch, 0.125, and that's what it's cutting point. Well, basically 0.16, and I told the second cut, well, the second cut's supposed to be 0.15 also, or 1.125, 1/8 inch. And it's 0.289 according to this calculator, this tool I'm using here. Jeez. Anyhow, this is the same problem, folks, I have had since day one trying to cut a dual carve. It carves the rough carve in here approximately the depth I've told it to, but when I come back and tell it to do the detail carve, it always carves this real deep around the inside edge and real deep around the letters, like it's doubling the depth. I don't know why it's doing that. I haven't told it to carve any deeper. I've told it to carve 1/8 inch total. Have the letters standing up 1/8 inch. I do not know why it's doing that. It's beyond me. It's done it every time. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of wood over here, and about 5 more pieces of wood out in the garage I've already thrown in the trash. A couple of these pieces I've carved on 2 or 3 different times. So I've carved 12 to 15 different attempts trying to get this thing to work. Let me back out here a little bit. And it's just not doing it. I even went so far, I had a problem with moving the router. Even when the rotors are locked, I had a problem moving the router, trying to take off the 1/4 inch collet. So I went so far as to bring my clamps in here and put a clamp on this side and put a clamp on that side of the X carriage to keep it from moving. Then I went so far as to cut this little thing out and put it up here like this and clamp it down to the Y rail on each side so the Y carriage wouldn't move, and to verify and make sure that I got my 0 in the same spot. Now, I've been having trouble getting that done. Excuse me guys, I'm frustrated right now, I can't even talk. But I don't know what it is with this dual carve. If any of you other fellows out there are having problems with your dual carve, let me know. If you're having success with your dual carve, let me know that and what you've done to be successful at it. So far, I've not. I've carved 12 to 15 different carvings here trying to get a successful dual carve, and I've not got one yet. Plus, even with that in here, this is all rough. This is not smooth. This is just as rough as can be in here. It's just, I mean, I'd have to take sandpaper and go in there and sand that, or a file or something to level that out. And the way I understand the dual carve work, you shouldn't have to do that. So I'm going to post this here in a little while. If any of you got any suggestions, I've done the lock rotor thing. I've done the, not lock rotor, lock motor. I don't know. Like I said, when I go in here to remove my large bit, the 1/4 inch bit and the 1/4 inch collet, I have yet to be able to apply enough force or torque or whatever you want to call it on that collet to loosen it to where I can get that collet off and that bit out without moving this X carriage or Y carriage. Mostly the X carriage, I usually move it one way or the other because I'm trying to unlock it. So that's why I used the clamps. I said, okay, I'm going to clamp this thing where it won't move at all, and by golly, I'll get it back in the same spot that way. Well, I did, and it didn't move, and it's doing this. It's doing this same thing it's done since day one. So frustration reigns right at the moment. I don't know if there's a problem with the dual carve, if it's just me. Right now I'm going to say it's a problem with the dual carve because every dual carve I've tried to the last one has done this same thing. And I've not heard anybody talking about doing a dual carve where it's came out successful. So if you have done it successfully, let me know. Add a comment, send me an email, do something. Tell me what you did so I can try it, because right now I'm not getting anywhere with it. I know I said a while back I wasn't going to worry with this dual carve anymore. Well, I want to do some dual carving because there's some signs and things I want to make that require this type of carving. So far, I'm batting 0. So if I sound frustrated, I am. And if you haven't caught that little hint yet, well, guess what? I'm frustrated. So let me know. Even with all this frustration, folks, just remember, whatever you're carving, enjoy it. For now, this is CNC Woodworker. We'll talk to you later.